What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be putting on my rear wheels, the Volk Racing wheels. I actually was able to put on the tires today and I'm ready to install these. So as you remember in my last video, I took them off because I had a flat and I figured forget it, let's just swap the tire and just save us the trouble. So I finally got the wheels on and right now I got to take them back off, the stock wheels. These are the 285/35 tires. As you can see, they're really square. They're also tucking, so still looks very good, but I really want to put these on. These are the 10.5 Volk Racing C28s with 275/30 series tires on them. As you can see, it's a mild stretch, but it looks way better than what it was with the 255s that I had on. I'm running Nankang tires. They're pretty affordable. I wanted to try to use a decent tire that's also affordable because I was gonna play around with the sizing and I didn't want to spend a crazy amount of money on Michelins or Hancocks or Continentals, only because, you know, I didn't want to buy the wrong size and it won't fit and whatever. So I did a 245 and a 275, and so far it looks pretty identical for the most part. As you can see here, there's a mild stretch with the lip showing, and same with the front, a mild stretch with the lip showing. So that's what I wanted. I wanted to match. Second thing, I'm unsure if it'll fit because of how aggressive the rear wheels are. I'm okay with that. I like a little bit of stance. Personal experience, I know the front is about -2.5 to -3 camber at the most. I know for a fact the rear is -1 to -1.5. So the way they designed the car, the rear somehow has more positive camber than the front. When I was running the 255 tires in the rear with these wheels, they were poking like a mother, and it just didn't look right because it was too positive, which isn't a bad thing because I actually utilized almost the whole entire tire with no camber wear at all. So now that I have a 275 on these tires, I know they're gonna hit the fender. I know it for a fact, and I'm just gonna have to run these camber kits right here from SPC and try to dial it in and make it fit. Enough talking, I'm gonna go take these wheels off and throw these on, and we're gonna lower it and see how much clearance we have. I'm not gonna waste any time and put a time lapse because you guys already know how it's done. I'll be right back when we throw these wheels on. So hold on tight. There you go. Right off the bat, it's gonna poke. It's gonna poke like crazy. So more than I'm comfortable with. I was trying to avoid doing the camber kit, but I knew it's just preliminary to just get it. So guess we're gonna have to throw them on. But let me show you guys what I meant. So right here from the rear of the car, you can see the front, it has like a natural camber to it, and the rear has like 0 camber. The goal is to match that right there as close as we can. So once I throw the camber kit on, I'm gonna just dial it in to a certain degree. And the way I'm gonna tackle that is quite easy. I'm gonna use a measuring ruler or tape. I'm just gonna measure from the fender out on how much of the tire I wanna tuck in. There's different ways to do it. I haven't really done much research about the proper way to do it. I'm not an engineer, but I've done this in the past and it seems to be okay. What I'm gonna do is just bring out just a little bit like this, okay? And with that, I'm just gonna measure how much I wanna tuck. It looks about 1/2 inch that I gotta go in. Yeah, cause it's poking out quite a bit. So from the fender here, the top of the fender out, it's about 1 inch. I wanna tuck in half of that. Ideally, if I tuck it in 1/2 inch, it's gonna sit right here when I look down on the fender. It's gonna be right there at that tire. That's just where I want it to be, as you can see. So what I'm gonna do now is set the camera up and I'm gonna take out the camber kit. I know it's gonna be a pain, but it should be straightforward. It should be 2 bolts for the most part, or actually a bolt and a nut. So the bolt is gonna be on the subframe and the nut will be on the, what do you call it? And the nut should be on like the spindle area, closest to the caliper. So we're gonna jack this car up, take the wheels back off. I'm gonna bring you guys in and hopefully this thing will be easy. All right guys, so I got the car set up on jack stands. As you can see here behind me, what I did is I jacked up one side and I put a jack stand back there. I put it right on that, which is like part of the subframe. And then I lowered it on that, took off my, you know, my 3-ton or 5-ton jack, put this underneath there and just twisted it all the way up as much as I can. Go on the other side, do the same thing, and leave the other jack on that side. So the whole point of doing this is to free up the tension from the sway bar, which is right here. Because from my past experience, if you jack up one side and start working on suspension. The other side is going to hold a lot of tension, which is going to give you problems when you go to, you know, twiddle with it and whatnot. So that's why I jacked up both sides, especially on the rear that I'm working on. Here is the SPC Camber Arm, and here are the instructions. So from what I'm seeing here, it's telling me that I need to replace the top part of it. So this is what you're going to be replacing, not this. So I mean, even so, this looks totally off. So as you can see here, it's one end is a cone shape and this one's just. So the only thing we're going to replace is the top. Right in the back right there, it uses a 19 millimeter on both sides. It's a bolt and a nut, and this right here is also a 19 millimeter. So I'm going to set the camera up and I'm going to try to loosen these out. Once I take it off, then I'm going to show you what I do to make adjustability before I install it back into the car. Arm, and this is the new camera arm. So the way I do it when it comes to adjusting it before putting it on, I loosen this quite a bit. I'm going to run the factory bolt right through there, okay, and then I'm going to just twist the middle, and what it's doing is it's separating both of them evenly. Since I have this on the ground, since I have this on the ground, it's not going to be uneven, and you know, you don't have to worry about it when it comes down to getting your alignment done. But having that bolt right through the back end right here, it keeps it straight on both ends, and this is the only part that's actually going out, which is on top. So once you get it just right, that's going to be perfect. Use your ruler like I did earlier and adjust it a ½ an inch more in, or you can actually put it on the car, put the wheels on. So I'm measuring right at the line here on the stock one, and I'm going to bring this one in about ½ an inch. So let's go back. I think this way is pretty accurate for me. Okay, so that sounds good. I'm just gonna leave that out. I'm gonna actually measure it from this edge to that edge, and from what I'm seeing, it's about 1 foot 2 inches. So theoretically it should be 1 foot and 1.5 inches, which it is. Here's your newly adjusted camber arm. Go ahead and slide that in. Okay, so I don't have WD-40 for some reason. I can't find it. I just moved here last year, but I lost all my stuff. So I'm gonna use some grease, and I'm gonna put a little bit around here, to help lubricate this thing in. Don't want to do too much. I don't think it'll be good. Not that it matters, but still. I'm gonna try to go in through this first and then try to get this in afterwards. So hopefully this is a great idea. And of course it works, because you just wobble back and forth and it gets right in there. Okay. Get that nut. This is gonna be a little tricky. I'm gonna have to force it over a little bit and then slide it in, which seems to be okay right now. Just straighten that out a little bit more. Actually wasn't that bad. I give this like a 6 out of 10 difficulty. So what I'm gonna do now is finish the other side. We're gonna put the wheels on, lower it, and if we need to, we're just gonna jack it back up, adjust accordingly, and then lower it back down until it's perfect. So yeah, let's skip another 45 minutes so I can do the other side, and we'll be right back. All right guys, so I just finished. I cambered in about half an inch, as you saw earlier in the video, but I don't know what the degree is. All I know is that it's matching the front pretty close, if not a little more, but it clears the 275. Right now there's a lot of toe. It's poking out towards the front of the rim, so it's gonna drive a little funny, but at least I'll be able to drive to the shop to get an alignment. I think I'm gonna just take it to my friend's place rather than doing it myself, because at my new place I don't really know how to get my car on the new rack. It's pretty high compared to the flat one at my old job. Let me show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so here it is. It's looking really nice. It's nice to have some more meat on the tire. I'll show you guys what I mean by toe. So if you stand right even with the fender, you can see the front right here is poking out a lot more than the rear. I want it to have positive toe, so this car is going to drive crazy until I get an alignment. But for the most part, the camber, it's perfect, exactly how I want it. Like I said, I measured in half an inch, and I brought it in half an inch, and as you can see right here, it's right at the line of the tire, like I said. So that's how I've been doing it, and it looks phenomenal. Okay, so it's not too crazy, but it looks good. It matches the front now, as you can see. So all in all, I'm very happy. I'm glad I got the camber kit. I got LB here spying. Yo. And yeah, this is great. I'm happy I finally got the bigger tires and took out the money and bought the camber kit, because I knew I was gonna need it eventually. So here's another angle. Get a little closer. I want to say it has like -3, and positively the front is probably -2.5, because just standing here and looking down, the rear is a little bit more cambered than the front, which is fine. -3, -2.5 is not going to kill me. As long as the alignment is perfect, tire wear should be okay. These are directional Nankang tires, so if I wanted to, I could just flip them inside out, you know, if they wear out over time, but they're just so cheap that I'll probably just end up replacing them anyway if I ever see center to inner camber wear. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna get an alignment, and we're gonna be doing some more projects tomorrow and probably the day after. Anyway, I'll see you guys on the next video. I'm gonna try to get this out as soon as possible, and until then,